We're back. You're listening to Executive Leaders Radio. This is your host, Herb Cohen, and let's get to know Jennifer Schaefer, President and CEO of JS Benefits Group. Jennifer, what is JS Benefits Group? What are you doing?
We're an employee benefits and HR consulting firm based in Newtown, PA.
Gotcha. Where you from? How many brothers and sisters, and where are you in the pecking order?
Langhorne, Pennsylvania, I grew up, and I am in the middle, older sister, younger stepbrother.
All righty. And you mentioned why do you have a stepbrother?
My parents divorced when I was about 8, and that's a
But
story unto itself.
all righty. And you mentioned that you were playing softball and that you went to work in your dad's business when you were about 8 years old. Didn't that sort of stink? Your friends are out playing and you're working with your dad?
No, it gave me the ability to spend time with my father. So I loved that part of it. He owned part of a building materials company in Bensalem, PA, and I
Mhm.
would go there on the weekends and help him all the time.
So you really you got business. You learned to love business early in your life. By the way, when you were in school, what was your favorite subject, and what's that have to do with who you are nowadays?
So math, and that would maybe be why my language skills are not as good as some of the others on here.
Well, it sounds to me like you're probably pretty good with numbers, and your language skills are pretty good too. Pat, you want to give me a hand getting to know Jennifer, please?
Yeah, certainly. Jennifer, you mentioned softball was kind of your favorite sport growing up. What was your role in the team, and how does that sort of influence how you lead JS today?
So I was the captain of our team. I played left field, left-handed. They kind of put me out there. I was on a traveling team, played through school. I was the first batter. I'm little, but I was always on base. And it's just the competitiveness, the team atmosphere. I love, I loved it growing up.
Hmm. What's that have to do with who you are nowadays? Tell us more about that.
I think it's just helped me persevere. I notice a lot of people that are successful are in sports and you just keep going.
Hmm. David.
Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, you also mentioned that, the divorce was very impactful on your life and as well as your father's death. So how did navigating both those huge moments in your life help you lead JNS on a daily basis?
So my parents' divorce really impacted me because I realized my mom was very vulnerable and my life has been driven by that. I didn't want to be dependent on someone else, and I looked at my father's life as what I wanted. My dad is alive. He's at Christ's home in personal care, but but close enough. So he really played a major influence of how he lived his life and the friendships he's made. People still visit him at Christ's home that worked for him. And I try to model his behavior in my own life.
Jake?
Hi, Jennifer. You built a company on helping employees take care of their people. Help me connect your company's mission to some of the influences from your childhood.
So, really, trying to be loyal, um, caring about people. Somebody made a big mistake yesterday at our office, and understanding that this person is everybody makes mistakes. It's okay, and that their job is not in jeopardy, and that we just learn from the things that we're doing, and we try to get better at it.
Hmm. So you have a great deal. You have a great deal of empathy. It sounds like. Catherine.
Jennifer, you also mentioned the green room about proving something to your father. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, that's a whole day, isn't it? Or a year? I think my whole life I've been trying to have him notice me and actually like me. So my father's 94 years old. He doesn't really like women like me. And that I see that in just his interactions with some of my friends versus me. He likes women that are dependent on people. And so my dad and I have had that dynamic my whole life.
Mhm. Um, you mentioned your best friend's first name is Vicky, and that she knows that you. I know that Pat was going to ask you this, but that she knows that you spend a lot of your time helping other people. Why do you spend a lot of time helping other people, according to your best friend?
Well, it's partly what my dad has done, and I've learned that from him. Uh, my dad being at Christ's home, I'm there almost every day, making sure that he's okay. I have a foundation that helps actually not people, but animals that I've created. And I try to give back and help people succeed in their own lives if they, if
Hmm.
they want to do what we're doing at JS Benefits or something else, where if you work hard, you
Hmm.
don't have to be the most talented.
Hmm.
If you put the effort in, the
Hmm.
turtle wins the day.
Hmm. What was the major pivot in your life? We were talking about that earlier, and it seemed like there were a couple of them. What were the major pivots in your life, and how they
Well,
affecting you?
I don't even know how being adopted from Catholic Charities has affected me. It's just that I've read that there's a lot to that with abandonment. Um, Certainly my parents' divorce, and then later my mom had tried to kill herself multiple times that I think very much affected me and pushed me more towards my father in a way of how to model my life towards success. So all of those have been pivoting
Hmm.
for me.
Hmm. So it sounds to me like you really value relationships. That's why that loyalty thing's so important to you. And so my bet is that you don't have the typical employee turnover for an employee benefits firm, nor do you have the typical client turnover. My bet is you probably develop pretty deep relationships with your clients as well as your teammates. Am I reading that correctly?
You are, but I actually received an email this morning from a former client that asked to come back.
Mhm.
I just got that email. So yes, we have we're all getting older, so our healthcare is expensive too. But a lot of the people that they have worked with me for 20 years, 30 years since I've started. And yeah, we do have long-term clients that we've kept. And I was very proud of this morning that a former client emailed me asking to come back.
Yeah, it sounds to me like, I'm not, by no means does it sound like you had an easy childhood considering what was going on, but it sounds to me like the upside of it all is that it's really helped you develop as opposed to getting further separated from people. It's really helped you appreciate the depth of relationships, who you can depend on in terms of your teammates. And also, you wanted to make sure that your clients can depend on you and your team. Am I reading that correctly?
I think it also, when my mom would come home from work, I had to be able to read her and what was going to happen. And I realized that's helped me very much. And because I go out, I do sales today, I love it. And I can read people so quickly. And I attribute that to my mother of having to understand what was coming. As the evening progressed, and in that way, she really helped my career.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like you really, you learn about adaptability, reading people. It just so happens you're in the employee benefits business, which it's sort of interesting that you're in the business of helping people, helping employers help their people. You're all about helping people, period. That's the bottom line. Am I seeing that correctly?
I think so. I think most of us realize that healthcare's a pretty tough business. And what I've realized is we really are helping people navigate this process. I sometimes do have to explain to people that I didn't create it and that we're here to help them, and walking people off the ledge quite often we're doing. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you're all about intimate long-term relationships. What's the website address for this organization known as JS Benefits Group?
Uh, it's www.jsbenefitsgroup.com. And yes, I wish I would have understood what the business was becoming. I would have picked a different name.
There you go. We've got
Yeah.
we were getting to know Jennifer Schaefer, President and CEO of JS Benefits Group. here on Executive Leaders Radio. Don't forget to visit our website, executiveleadersradio.com. Back in a moment, right after the quick break.